Hey, I'm Michael Bay, and I am a strong believer in protecting the cinema experience.
So, the new Transformers, eh?
Yeah, up the wazoo, we got a new Transformers film, I say.
That was pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, last night. Not the last night.
Oh, last night I'm still feeling trashed, bro.
Yeah, still feeling last night.
Big night at the pub with the boys.
But last night.
Last night, alright. So Transformers 5, The Last Night, is the new Transformers movie.
Yep, starring
Marky Mark. You know, from back in the day, Marky Mark.
What a band, eh?
We've got Marky Mark and we've got other people. Yeah. And there was the one guy who was in the early Transformers movies.
He's married to
Fergie. He tapped Fergie, yep.
He's on there in Black
and we've got Optimus Prime. Not that much of Optimus Prime.
No, just
more than
just
less.
enough.
Yep. So we've got him, and we've got B, and we've got Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter.
And
we got the Lassie.
In this movie, there's some Transformers doing some stuff.
Yeah, there is.
And there was so much action, and there was so much fast editing that it was just so good.
It was.
I mean, this is probably my movie of the year.
You know, I've only seen 2 films this year.
Yeah.
Despicable Me 3. And, or no, we saw Baywatch as well.
We saw Baywatch, yes, so we've seen 3.
So we've seen 3, and then for Transformers to come along and blow it out of the park like this, I was really taken back.
It was one for the boys.
You know, I really got to give it to this film, because I think it was so fast, it had so much going on, it just had no character.
No, there's no need for it.
No characters whatsoever, and that's quite exceptional if you ask me.
When you're moving that fast, you just don't need to characterize, like you don't need anyone to care about, you don't need any of that, because the editing and stuff is so fast, and the movie's got so much to get through in 2.5 hours, that none of that even matters. It's so good to have that.
Yeah.
So good, so good. I mean, just, this is the future of movies. And this is what I hope to see from everything in the future. Gotta say, jumping onto that editing,
yeah.
you've got 5 editors, because the way I see it, the way obviously director Michael Bay sees it, is 5 people get the job done faster. Why have just 1 editor with 1 distinct vision if you can have 5?
Yeah, it's true.
5.
Plus you got, you know, if you got 5 editors going, that means you got 10 eyes.
Yep.
So you got 10 eyes on one screen at once.
Except if someone's missing an eye. It's 9. They've got an eye patch.
Yeah, but I reckon they've got all full 10 eyes. And you know how many eyes I've got to watch the film? I've got 2. So that means I've got 8 eyes less than what they're editing with. So that means I've got 2 eyes.
Yes. And now I think the best thing about that editing is that it was so good. It was so good that the actors didn't even have to worry about, no one had to worry about continuity. You could just go from sitting to standing, and the editing's so good you don't even notice it 10% of the time. And that's what I think really makes some great editing. And I think, you know, the Oscars have been rigged for ages. They've been so rigged. I mean, where's Transformers been for the last, you know, it's 10 years now. But I think this year it's Transformers year in the editing department. I honestly think this is it. I'm gonna put money on Transformers.
I think so.
Life savings, probably. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, I'll put a few dollars on there. I've got to say though, you know, cheers to Hopkins.
Cheers to Hopkins.
Because, you know, it's been a while since I've seen him last. I think his last film was when he was Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything since.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I've got to say, you know, when he comes out with lines like, dude, I just felt like he was one of the boys.
This boy, he's almost 80, you know?
Dude.
You
and
know?
he's still one of the boys. He can drop a dude.
He's unreal.
And he can drop every time he swore. I tell you what, that just, I was in stitches. I mean, watching an old guy, a respected knighted actor swearing, that is comedy gold.
Yeah, the last knighted actor.
Dude. Now look, next I want to talk about the script, because the script was just, it was so finely tuned. So there was no excess. There was no excess at all. Everything was exactly as it needed to be. It was cut down. It was cut down to 2.5 hours. You know, I thought they could have spent more time. You know, it could have been longer and just, you know, got more into it. But the script, I love the fact that the first hour there's nothing but there's military exposition the whole time. So I love the fact that we just keep going back to this room with military personnel telling us exactly what's happening, exactly what they need to do, with no character, emotion, or stakes. It's just happening. I love that.
It was simply exceptional from start to finish. And I've got to say, you know, one of the first lines are Hopkins' little robot mate, when he's running down the staircase and he goes, "We've been waiting for this weird moment for over 1600 years." And I thought, you know, dialogue like that, you know, that's Oscar winning dialogue. That's
Oscars eat your heart out, you know. That's it. And I think if yeah, it was just really good, you know, really exceptional, and the fact that the script, you know, never lost sight of what was going on. Everything always made sense. I mean, characters kind of just came and go in a scene without being introduced. They were just there and then they're not there, and I think that's almost like watching a magic trick, you know. It's like watching a magician show live, and Michael Bay is a magician. I remember saying a while back that Zack Snyder was a better director, but no, now I definitely think Michael Bay is the king of the directors. He's a titan he's a god among men.
He's a bit of a titan. Definitely, I can agree with that.
And you know, his confidence and his ego, they never get the better of him.
No.
And I think that is really what makes an exceptional director.
Hey, I'm Michael Bay.
And again, big shout out to Michael Bay, because, you know, his portrayal of women just gets better and better with every single film. I mean, this time we got a really well-rounded young girl who popped up and disappeared for 45 minutes.
Well-rounded, hey?
Then we got the other exceptional lass that hung around Mark Wahlberg the whole time. And
I did not realise you were talking about the little girl, so I take that back. I was thinking of the other one.
You know, that's, you know, I think you've definitely got to retract that statement.
Retract it.
And that British lass, I just got to say, you know, like, the thing is, with a character like that, and all she ever talks about, you know, is men. With her mum. And then, you know, she doesn't have a quality conversation. She's just this, you know, highly educated chick, you know.
Well, that's character, isn't it? That's character, isn't it? If you're British in an American movie, that's your character. You're British. British,
educated, and, you know, just wearing an outfit for Michael Bay to sit behind the camera and go,
I gotta say, to be honest, like the fact that also her introductory scene is a polo match, horseback, you know,
come on.
And Michael Bay shot that exactly the same as the siege sequences at the start and the Transformers battle sequences at the end, a polo match. That action, I mean, that just shows great direction, that you can distinguish between 3 separate things.
I think
fantastic. So. And can I just say that John Turturro in this movie, my favourite part. Definitely my favourite part of the movie. His character had complete reason to be there. It wasn't just the fact that he'd been in the other movies and they thought, oh, let's get him back and put him in a scene that doesn't make any sense. But they went, hey, this is who we really need to carry the film. And the fact that they just kept cutting back to him and him just saying stuff and it's somehow advancing the plot and we're not really knowing who he is, why he was there or what was going on, I think that is genius.
Yeah, well, they said something about Castro over in Cuba, you know, being real accepting of the Transformers, and I thought, good on him, you know, including some themes about equality. You know, this film just really transcended back to our own lives. You know, really said so much about equality between humans and humans and humans and Transformers, and I just thought, Turturro, you are a man.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And what we do want to say as well is that the product placement is never obnoxious.
No.
It's never in your face. It's just real world thing. I mean, whenever you hand something to someone, you always make sure the label is facing them,
I think
so that they can clearly see what they're being handed.
That's what my parents
you need to
always
tell
told me.
them what it is first. and you just, you know, it really is the point of everything. You know, when you make a movie, it's all about kind of advertising products. Because I mean, why not?
Yeah,
why not? It doesn't take you out of the movie.
I don't know about you, but when I'm back home and, you know, I see my wife sitting on the couch and, you know, she's sitting next to me remote, I say, hey love, can you pass the LG 3100 250 remote for me so I can turn on the LG 3100 250 TV?
Exactly.
And that's exactly how every single conversation goes. I mean, it stretches to, you know, the fridge.
Yep.
Absolutely everything. The microwave, I'm like, can you zap that in the microwave 3800 for me?
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how it should always be. And now I really want to say that the music here was just really exceptionally done. Yeah. I think it was really it was not only special and memorable, but it was never obnoxious. It never overwhelmed a scene and told me exactly how I should be feeling, regardless of the scene not matching that. I think it was always perfectly accompanied exactly what it needed to.
I've got to say though, how good was that scene where you had Hopkins' little butler robot and he was doing the music, and then Hopkins was like, "Oi mate, shut up, would you? Stop playing the music." And that, you know, and it was like, oh my god.
They're talking and there's dramatic organ music and all of a sudden they cut to this transformer up there and he's playing the organ, you know, in the scene. He's actually providing the soundtrack. I mean, we haven't seen that since Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while.
And I mean, that was revolutionary at the time. So I guess there's that. Oh yeah! And speaking of revolutionary, I think I want to talk about the aspect ratio switching.
Oh.
Which was just, it was such a fluid experience.
It was.
Cutting between 6 different cameras and obviously 6 different aspect ratios in the space of 30 seconds, I think has a real flow to it that most films just can't achieve. Watching a screen go from this to this to this to this to this to this. For no apparent reason, I think that is possibly the future of cinema, and I think directors like Christopher Nolan, who is a you know, an average filmmaker, his films could be much better, of course.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's always so heavily flawed. None of his intentions landing.
No, definitely.
But of course, anyway, I think that rather than what he does, he goes and shoots a big action scene in IMAX, and the whole sequence is in IMAX, and you know when you're watching it, you go, this is going to be a big scene, and it's going to suck. But with Michael Bay, he's just revolutionised it here and said, you can change the aspect ratio at any time. For no reason. For no reason at all.
Who could have thought of that?
You can actually do an IMAX sequence where it's been in IMAX for a minute, and then cut back to a cinemascope shot that's entirely VFX, which proves that it wasn't even shot on a camera, and he's just switching aspect ratios because he's a sick.
Yeah,
you know.
He's a real sicko, and I think, you know, we just know that Michael Bay really cares about his products, as per this footage right here.
Make it better, make it different, make it better, make it different, make it better, make it different, make it better, make it different.
So I think that overall, this is definitely my film of the year so far.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be beaten. I mean, we still have movies like The House and Justice League on their way. So I don't know if this film will be topped currently as the best movie of the year.
Oh shit, don't forget Geostorm, son.
Geostorm is this year!
Geostorm.
A Gerard Butler apocalypse film. I mean, that is going to be cinema.
Unbelievable.
But I do think that this film definitely has my highest recommendation right now.
Yeah.
I give it 6 out of 6 concrete shovels.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go with 6 chuggers out of 7 cheers.
7. Oh, all right. That's a better system, I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm
giving it 6 chuggers out of 7 cheers.
Alrighty, that's a good system.
That's a high recommendation.
That's a good system, I think. That works. And now we just want to go into a couple of spoilers for those of you guys that are interested. I have to say that I think Anthony Hopkins' death scene is possibly the most heartfelt, emotional, not ridiculous, not hilariously bad scene I've seen this year. It was really emotional.
I sat there so connected with his performance on screen and that robot calling him dude thing and
definitely.
And I was just like, you know, I'm crying right here.
It had me from the part where Megatron fired a rocket at him and he flew through the air in slow motion.
Yeah.
And he's an 80-year-old man, and I thought that is a death scene.
And you know, he's sitting there and he's dying. He's like, you know, I finally got my moment. And I was just thinking, you know, your moment was at Stonehenge with Megatron, and you sat there and you got your cane out like a gun and you shot at him, and I thought, you know, that makes sense.
You're a hero. I mean, that's what gets united.
Exactly.
You know? Oh, and now the other interesting thing that happened in this movie is obviously there's more Transformers movies on the way. But I really loved how they had that detour that was necessary to show that Bumblebee was there in World War II.
I thought that was fascinating.
Bucking up the Nazis.
I thought it was fascinating.
I thought that was definitely probably the highlight of the movie almost, of seeing that scene that needed to be there, that wasn't to set up a future Bumblebee solo movie.
No, not at all.
I just love watching him just, you know, blasting some Nazis. I thought that was definitely...
Well, look, you know, if Wonder Woman can go back to World War One,
yep,
Bumblebee can go back to World War Two, and I can guarantee we're going to get a fucking ripper of a film from it.
And the final interesting thing as well that I think was that obviously this movie was end of the world stakes. You know, they're bringing Cybertron to Earth, and it's going to end the world. And you think that's about as hard as they can go. I mean, they're basically going for world ending 5 times. But then there was the post-credit sequence.
Oh shit, there wasn't,
was there? There was a post-credit sequence.
I can't believe I'm that guy that left before the end.
Which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But the important thing is that we know that, you know, there's definitely going to be another one.
Yeah.
Megatron will be back again.
Oh,
even though he did die this time, and he has died 4 times before, he will be back.
Yeah.
So that's important.
You know what Megatron reminds me of? You know, it reminds me a bit of AIDS. You know, once he's in the immune system, he's there for life.
He keeps coming back.
He keeps coming back no matter what. You can't kill
it. So.
And that's, you know, that's just incredible. That's storytelling.
And this episode of Film Demolition was definitely not brought to you by Doritos. How good are these Doritos? Hey? Oh, fantastic.
Reminds me of time the other night, not last night.
No, the last time.
The other night, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, can you pass me the Doritos?"
Doritos, right? Alright, so that is all we have time for with talking about Transformers today, because we have to get back to work and continue doing absolutely fuck all, absolutely nothing. But if you liked us and you like hanging out with the Demolition Crew and talking about great cinema, you can subscribe somewhere. And yeah,
don't forget to check out you know, all our other pages at Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter to follow all our antics as we continue in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah, of doing absolutely fuck all.
Fucking enough.
Fuck all.